Hey everyone, today I have a really exciting bit of data to share with you about Saturn's moon, Enceladus. Now if you're a semi-regular listener to the podcast, chances are that you listen to some of my news episodes about updates for the Cassini mission. I followed the Cassini spacecraft as it explored the Saturn system, Saturn and its moons, before it finally ended its mission by plunging into Saturn itself. The NASA mission controllers decided to crash the Cassini spacecraft into Saturn as opposed to crashing it into a moon, or just letting it wander away randomly being bumped by whatever gravity forces it happened to run into. The reason they did this was to prevent any possible biocontamination of Saturn's moons. The Cassini spacecraft sent us back just a huge amount of data. It sent back so much high-quality data that it's taken us months to go through it. And there's still months, maybe even years worth of data that's left to go through and analyze. Now, as the Cassini mission explored the Saturn system, it made a stop by Enceladus, which is a small, ice-covered moon believed to have a subsurface liquid water ocean. A while ago, I made a news segment on the molecular hydrogen that Cassini discovered in the plumes of water being blasted out of the crust. This molecular hydrogen, most likely generated in deep-sea hydrothermal vents, is very suggestive of an energy source that might be able to sustain potential life. Now, this most recent study coming out of NASA found that the Cassini spacecraft identified, quote, complex organic compounds that contain benzene moieties possibly linked by polymeric chains, with evidence for hydroxyl, ethoxy, and/or carbonyl functional groups, as well as nitrogen-bearing functional groups, unquote. The researchers say in their abstract that this is suggestive of, and I quote, the presence of a thin organic-rich film on the top of the oceanic water table, unquote. Now this is where I start to get really excited, because there's a couple feasible explanations for the presence of these large organic molecules, and at least one of them involves alien life. Hunter Waite was a contributing author to the study, and he said, quote, the new organics can be either building blocks, things the microbes consume, or biological remains of membranes, things the microbes produce, unquote. Another contributing author was Christopher Glein, a research scientist specializing in extraterrestrial oceanography. Glein was quoted as saying, we can get some guidance from analogous processes on Earth. On our planet, hydrogen-rich conditions in some hydrothermal systems create a strong drive to produce organic molecules, either abiotically, without life, via mineral-catalyzed reactions, or by biosynthesis, where vent fluids mix with seawater, unquote. So essentially, boiling all of this down, what Cassini found was either organic chemicals produced through geochemical abiotic processes deep down in the depths of the Enceladian Ocean, or it found organic chemicals produced through the decay of dead alien life forms, whose dissolving corpses diffuse biomaterial into the ocean and accumulate as an organic-rich biofilm on the surface of the water. Here, the organic molecules get mixed in with the water that's being blasted out in these geyser plumes, and so these molecules get sprayed out into space, into the orbit of the moon and into the rings of Saturn. Now, when I say that these are the decomposing bodies of dead alien life forms, I'm not necessarily assuming that these alien life forms are like Enceladian fish. A macroscopic life form would actually be really, really surprising, because as far as we know, Enceladus just doesn't have the heat and the energy to sustain that complexity of a biochemical ecosystem. So when we're talking about decaying alien life forms, we're talking about microbes, or any of the macroscopic structures that communities of microbes form when they all grow together. Examples include microbial mats, or stromatolites. Now, Christopher Glein was also quoted as saying, because organic molecules are fundamental to the nature of life as we know it, this finding makes Enceladus an even more attractive astrobiological destination in the solar system. However, we know from studying meteorites, comets, and Titan's atmosphere that organic compounds do not equal life. Cautious optimism is in order, unquote.